Good morning, guys. How we all doing? I hope we all had a wonderful day and we all had a beautiful rest. Um, we're here with the daily market review as always. Let's get right into it. So first of all, as we've seen this week, we've seen some downward pressure coming to Euro USD, and as we know, we're expecting the NFP numbers and the unemployment numbers to come in tomorrow, and that is very significant. In what sense? It is significant in the sense of affecting the dollar because, as I've always mentioned, the Fed are keeping an eye on the employment data, and that would signify if they want to cut rates or if they would leave rates or even increase interest rates. Because so if we have a strong unemployment data and if we go below 4.5%, that shows that we would likely keep rates the way it is or even hike rates. But anything higher than that, and if we have high unemployment, then the Fed will likely cut rates. But the thing is, in the US recently, we've been having strong employment numbers, so we expect our expectancy is okay for the unemployment numbers to come in at around 4.5% or lower. So that could show some at least bullish momentum in the short term for the dollar. So for now, that's kind of what I'm expecting. So, and that would lead to, if we have bullish news for the dollar, that would lead to more bearish news for Euro USD. Anyways, just sitting on my hands at least until tomorrow or next week, where we start to see some better positions. It is the beginning of the year, and normally you don't really get too many clean setups. You have to wait maybe for middle of January or thereabout before you start to get those clean A plus setups. So as you can see, technical wise, that is the fundamental part. Technical wise, we've taken out this liquidity, we've connected with this area of demand, and you can see once we came in, we pushed up but couldn't break this fractal structure, right? We couldn't break this high, which was our target. If you've been here since the beginning of the week, I wanted us to break this, retest this area, and then we could look for those for the longs, but that never came in, and then we've just been dumping from there. So let's see what wants to happen in regards to Euro USD tomorrow, as today I'm just going to be sitting on my hands. Okay, we're still bullish swing wise, as we have this as our swing low, as our swing high. We came in here, took out liquidity, and now we've been pushing upward. So let's see what wants to happen in this area of demand, and then keep in mind we have NFP tomorrow, and which is similar to the dollar. Like the dollar throughout last year, I think we fell about 9%, and now we've started to see a little bit of bullish momentum come back into the market slowly. But also, you can identify here as our area of supply, right? We have this as our buy before the sell down, and then we have all of this liquidity. And so for us to start to buy the dollar, it would be a break above this high, right? So a break above this high means, okay, we've broken the swing structure, the 4-hour swing structure, as we have here as our swing high, here as our swing low. So if we break above this, then it would signify longs on the dollar, at least to take out this descending highs. So let's wait and let's be patient. Let's see what wants to happen tomorrow, and then we would know where to go from there. Moving on to gold. Gold has been sort of sideways since the beginning of the week, which is kind of expected. At least you can see we've just been moving in this little box. It is the new year, so volatility is just returning into the market, so you gotta be careful with whatever sort of positions you want to take. You want to maybe be a little bit more on the cautious side than rather on the aggressive side. Okay, and towards probably the middle of the month and towards the end of the month, we can become more aggressive, but now you want to be more cautious, protect your capital. That's the only thing we have at the moment. So as you can see, we never saw a 4-hour fractal structure shift. I would have loved above here, and then we could have looked for for the long positions. I think on the hourly we saw a shift, but yeah, you could see on the hourly right here. But we've taken out this liquidity, so our next area of liquidity is right here, as we have here as our sell before the buy up. So let's see what wants to happen. Remember, now we're in this area of demand, and all we're just looking for is if we see a nice fractal structure shift indicating that okay, bulls are about to step into the market, then we could go in and look for those long positions. But for now, let's stay our hands, and then we see what wants to happen. Moving on to silver. Similar story on silver. You can see we approached this demand level, but really never saw any bullish confirmation. So it was just bears all through, and now we have here as our liquidity, our next liquidity low, we have this area as our area of demand. So I would be watching this and see how we want to play out, because this is also a nice strong area. As you can see, we took liquidity to our left, and then that failed this breakup structure right here. So let's see what wants to happen, as our strategy still remains the same. We're just waiting for a change of character, and then we could look for those longs. But for now, there's no bullish confirmation, so there's no trade. Similar to AU is still nice because we're waiting. That retracement that we've been waiting for has happened, and now we've connected into this area of demand. So and we've taken liquidity to our left. I'm still looking for more longs on this. As you can see, it is to the upside, so I'm still looking for more longs on this, but we would be once we break that fractal structure. And also I'm looking at here, we have this here as our monthly, 3-monthly open and yearly open. This is a nice area, so I'll be looking at this area, perhaps also maybe to buy from here, as we have here liquidity resting beneath here also. So we could come grab this final burst of liquidity, and then maybe from there we start to push up. Let's see what wants to happen. With GU, guys, GU, as I've always discussed, I'm still bearish on this market, but I would like here to this demand level to go. If we break this demand level, retrace to this area, once we break this demand level and supply starts and sellers start to step in, and supply is in control, because right now we have demand in control. So you don't want to be selling when demand is in control. You want that demand level to break, and then once supply starts to come in control, then we could start selling from there. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on for GU. Let's see how that wants to play out. With NU, guys, still looking for a deeper retracement into this lower levels. I want all of this. Look at this ascending lows that we left behind. I wouldn't want to be looking for longs while we have all of this. So I would like a connection with this demand level. That would be nice, and then maybe from there we could look for those longs again. And on USD JPY, guys, with the yen, I'm still expecting further downward pressure because of the situation with China. At the moment, they have some trade rifts going on, so still expect downward pressure on the yen, and that would translate into bullish. That would translate bullish for Euro USD, and I'm sorry, for USD JPY, Euro JPY, and the likes. So how would we have this ascending lows right here that I would like to probably see a deeper retracement, maybe connect with this area of demand, and then from there we could start to look for those longs. I'm still very much long on this, but we have to see some maybe lower prices, and then we start to look for those longs. From here, it is not properly priced, not for me at least. I would just like to see lower prices, and then I would like to look for those longs from there. US 30, the US 30, you can see we're still retracing. Let's wait for lower prices. Similar, let's wait for lower prices, and then a change of character, as we have here as our fractal high and here as our fractal low. And you can see we've swept this liquidity, and maybe from there we start to push up. But I would like a connection with this area of demand. That would be nice, and then from there we could start looking for those longs again. US oil. The US oil has been seeing some downward pressure, downward momentum coming. I think also Chevron is about to strike a deal with the US to take some Venezuelan oil. So let's see, maybe it would cause a surge in oil prices, let's say, or um, investors moving into risk off pairs, and that would mean lower prices for US oil, Canadian dollar, and all the risk on currencies that we have, Aussie dollar and co. So let's keep an eye out for that, as right here we are not properly priced. If we're looking for any sort of short, I would like a retracement into this high, maybe even into this gap here, this 3 monthly open, which is also this gap area, so we can look for those shorts from there, as we have liquidity resting just beneath this. So but from here I'm not really interested in looking for those shorts yet. With USD CHF, guys, as we've spoken, I'm looking at this descending highs, and I would like some higher prices on USD CHF. I would like to sell it, but I would like some higher prices first, and then from there we could get those sales in, as it will be better priced for us to look for those shorts. Yeah, you can see this descending highs right here. So all of this area of liquidity that we left that is still open, I'm not comfortable selling it with this liquidity area left open and that. So of course, yes, we could start to push down from there, but that would mean this demand area that is pushing up the market breaks, right? This 79073 area breaks, and then from there we could start to sell. But irrespective of that, I would still like higher prices on that, on USD CHF. Similar thing with USD CAD, guys. Remember I was saying, okay, once we break this supply level, then I'm now more interested in buys, and that is what I'm looking for at the moment. Because if you look at the higher time frame which we showed yesterday, you can see we have one trend line touch, second trend line touch, this is the third trend line touch, and now we have the fourth trend line touch. So it isn't out of the question once you're starting to see it isn't unexpected to see some bullish momentum return into this market, and that is quite nice to see how that has been playing out for us. So all we're just waiting for is now liquidity, maybe a retracement, grab some liquidity, and then from there we could start to push up, as I'm more interested in buying this and targeting. Look at all of this descending highs that we have here, this liquidity resting here. So I'm targeting all of this area. So just be patient, wait for that retracement, and then we could get into those longs. And finally, Euro JPY, I'm still waiting for maybe one more push down, into this area, grab this liquidity, and then from there we have that change of character, and we can start looking for those longs. As right here we have, you can see we're just squeezing into the lows, and that is quite nice to see. I like this price action. We're squeezing into the lows, and I like the price action. So let's see how, if we break this consolidation, and then I could start to look for those further longs. Okay guys, I wish you a wonderful trading day. Thank you. Mubarak out.